So, for people who don't have time, the three things we're going to talk about are being a person that seeks criticism. I'd make some notes. Create your own opportunities, and then learning to love the pain of failure, in parentheses of failure. And then I'll explain what those things are for the people who do have time. Um, First one, seeking criticism. The thing is, you know, I I was gonna tell a short story about like how I grew up in the ghetto and everything like that, but the relevance of it is a little different when I think about the whole seeking criticism thing. But um, I grew up like on a spectrum like that. A lot of the people around me, were not doing good. My family was middle class, so it was strange that we lived in an area where it was pretty ghetto, and a lot of people around me didn't have some of the things that I had. So, whereas I had the opportunity to go take martial arts, and I had the opportunity to be in better schools or be homeschooled for high school and do certain things, I was able to be around two different kinds of people in certain situations. And from that, one thing I noticed that everyone across the board that I interacted with, we all have this kind of notion that things will fall into our lap, that opportunities will fall into our lap, and things are just gonna work, right? Uh, but what I noticed from the people who had less is that they couldn't live by that process, right? They had to create their own opportunities, and one thing that stopped a lot of them from creating their own opportunities, and then also other people from creating their own opportunities, was they didn't like the feeling of being told they were wrong. They didn't like the feeling of being told what they were doing wasn't good. No one likes to be told that they suck, you know? And so no one seeks criticism. And the thing is, if you seek criticism, you're always going to continuously get better. If you seek, like those no's, those that's terrible, those that looks bad. If you become a seeker of that, you'll start to see changes in your life. And this is something that I've seen and that I've done, but not to the fullest extent. One thing I have always done is I've always tried to be the person that creates my own opportunities, which then brought a lot of failure. So just through experience, I got that. And that's something that then led to here and there, depending on what I'm doing, I was able to create opportunities for people around me, which is really big. So, in going from being independent to interdependent, as my mom would say. My mom's a teacher also. She's a doctor. Shout out Dr. Lewis. Um, she got a doctorate at 69. It's crazy, in education. But anyway, be a person that seeks criticism, and it makes it so you are not afraid to create your own opportunities for what it is you want to do. So if you feel like you're stuck, that's like the first thing. The other thing is loving the pain. Um, and I say a failure in parentheses because a part of it is like kind of what I just said, like loving the pain of, these all go together. Loving the pain of like, dang, I just wasted the time. I feel like I just spent a lot of time doing something that wasn't the right direction or whatever. The point is, it's really just embrace like that feeling and let that fuel you to the next thing. Because it's important to just be a lover of that feeling of that pain, because it hurts. The other idea of loving the pain comes from a martial arts instructor. Shout out to Shifu Luther, for those of you who follow me, who also went to the same school as me and know the guy. He used to always say to us when we're working out, when we're training, love the pain, learn to love the pain. And you say like, how do you feel? It's like, I love this. When we're doing push-ups and it's straining and the soreness is there, it's like when you learn to really embrace the difficulties and the strain it takes to transform your body or transform yourself or your mind or anything like that. When you learn to love that pain, that's another level. Like, and so for some of the people that know me as a tricker from what I feel like is a past life at this point, at gatherings, I used to train and trick harder. The more tired I got, because it hurt more. But because I was psychologically driven to love the pain, it was like, strangely, I could do more. My mind would then push me into overdrive, and in a lot of cases, it'd be 7 o'clock in the morning at a gathering, and I was doing tricks that were that I wasn't able to do earlier than day for whatever reason. But it's because I I have a more pushing spirit when I'm pushed down, when I'm pushed back. So those are a couple things that if you feel like you're becoming stagnant in whatever it is you're trying to do, continue just to push. So seeking criticism, creating opportunities, loving the pain, in parentheses, of failure. I hope that helps some people out. This is just kind of a message from me for today. So have a good one. And I'm going to go back to working on Fight Scene Machine and rebranding and all that kind of stuff. Cool things coming. Make sure to follow my Patreon. And if you subscribe to my Patreon right now, what that helps, that money, I want it to go to more of my films. I want to raise capital to eventually become, I believe it's SAG signatory, I believe is what it's called, because in order to do SAG projects, you have to be at a certain level with SAG in making your own films. And being able to pay not only the people in front of the camera but also behind the camera. At least I would like to get to the point where it's at a low budget level, because I want to be a producer. Ultimately I want to be an action star, so I'm working on things toward that. I'm also working on fight coordinating. I want to do more fight choreography in particular. I'm not, so just so that it's clear too, I'm not trying to be a stunt coordinator. That is something a lot of people will say to me that, hey, this is Jefferson, he's a stunt coordinator, this, that, and the third. And it's like, don't get it wrong, not a stunt coordinator. That is a level, a thing that it needs to be held in like higher regard, that I respect, and I'm not at that level yet. Those are the kind of people who have been through the experiences and the lives of stunts, the life of the stunt man, stunt woman, stunt performer, stunt player, that has gotten to the point where they can keep the people around themselves safe. They can keep the people around them sometimes in check, and keep a professional atmosphere that's necessary for the life on set. And I pay homage to those kind of people. I respect those kind of people like Monique, David Labor, Lee Whitaker, like other coordinators out there, Travis Wong. That it takes years. That's why there's all this controversy of what should be what it should take to be a stunt coordinator. I have some people saying that there should be a test, other people saying that there should be just an experience level, and SAG now putting this into effect that there should be a certain amount of days. All of that I feel like is needed to some degree, because it's a heavy role. Those are heavy shoes to fill that I feel like I won't be there for several years. But I am trying to, hone my craft as a previs artist and as a video maker and all that good stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Like I said, subscribe to my Patreon, and also be a seeker of criticism today. All right, peace.